Yeah, Bridging the Gap, Nyomi Banks, the goddess. Tune in. Hey yo, Black, where we at? Elements. Got a problem? What's the issue? Ask Nyomi for advice, she will bless you. Is it sex, love, or relationship?
Hey, it's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks, and welcome to another episode of Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about love, sex, relationship, culture differences, and so much more, while bridging the gap between them all and teaching the world on sex, language, and attitudes, and spiritual uplifting. Well, this episode of Ask Nyomi is a little bit special because this is a live taping of our live show, the kickoff of Ask Nyomi, Healing Through Spirituality and Sexuality. And on this stage, we did this past weekend at AVN Weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I was joined by the multi-award winner, Hall of Famer, and author, Mr.Marcus, as well as the healing artist, spiritual healing artist that is, and former adult star, Safel, also known by Imani Rose. So you all take a listen, and I hope you enjoy it. And this is part one. This show went on for a while, and so we're gonna break it off in two. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Most of me know how I am and how I roll. This has been a part of my journey, and this is a part of my purpose, is truly bridging the gap between spirituality and sexuality. And I want to thank you, Mr. Marcus. So let me say this, because now that I even see Julie in the space too, you two are my first in the industry. You two were my first that's in the industry, and it's so ironic that it feels like it's full circle. You understand what I'm saying? Full circle of it being here. And even though I opened it up for so many people to be here, and in my mind it was a certain way, but it's not about what I want. It's the bigger picture and what God has intended for it to be. We ain't talking about religion, we're talking about spirituality. And we're talking about sexuality in this moment. And we're talking about them both being in the same space, because in every single one of you out there is a sexual being and there is a spiritual being that we need to learn to be able to balance them both, so we can heal with both, with all of our entirety. If y'all understand what I'm speaking on that one. So I just wanted to put that out there first. It's not gonna be a cry moment, but it might be. But then we're gonna have some fun with it, and we're gonna, try to be this. This is the first one, and I thank you all for being here. I'm so gracious for you all to be here in this moment with us right now. So let me do this, and I just want to break it off like this. Close your eyes for me for a second. It's just telling me to do this. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you with a humble heart and a humble soul. I just thank you so much for just allowing me to be in this spiritual space right now. I thank you for all the bodies and the souls that is here right now, really right now in this space. And I ask you to move through them in an authentic way, dear Heavenly Father. That should be no shame or anything that we are sharing this moment with each other. That we are having a celebration of life, a celebration of healing right now, dear Heavenly Father. I thank you for using myself. I thank you for using Marcus. I thank you for using Safel. I thank you for using us all in this moment right now, because it's not all about us. It's a bigger picture in mind. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Amen. All right, so I just wanted to do that. That was just on my heart right now. Go get y'all some wine. Go get y'all some wine, chill, because we gonna have a good time. And my intentions is for when y'all leave out of here, that y'all leave full. And y'all leave full. When you leave from here, you're full with knowing what your sexual being, at least wanting to know what your sexual being is, and also knowing what your spiritual being is, and start to heal within yourselves. All right? I thank y'all. Y'all got any questions? He gonna open up. One of them gonna open it up for y'all, but We're gonna start it off. Let me know when you.
Hey, my sexy people, it's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks. And I finally did it. I've written my first book. Well, actually, it's a living journal. It's called Good Morning, My Sexy People. Where I share my stories in different posts, but help a healing workbook for you. So it's 90 days to kick off your healing living journey. Pre-purchase now. Go to asknyomi.com and hit shop. Listen.
Hey, it's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks here, and we are live right here on Ask Nyomi Bridging The Gap podcast, but we're doing something a little different. We are here out this weekend at AVN of 2022, and we wanted to kick off something this year, and I think it's supposed to be a part of our path and part of our power, and I'm so happy that I have two of some of my favorite people right here that is going to bless me on this stage, and I have the incomparable multi-award winning author, Mr. Marcus, in the building. What's going on, baby?
What up? What up?
What's going on?
Hello.
Is that it? Is that it? So y'all see here with the baseball cap on, right? He's represented. And then I got one of my baby favorite, and I don't even know if I should say her name because I can say her name. I can say her name.
Because it's easier.
Because it's easy. I can say her name. But this is, I met her in the industry, and we just clicked. We just truly clicked, and even after she retired and I retired, we kept in contact. And sometimes we hadn't spoken like 2 or 3 years, and it was like even when we saw each other, it was like an instant. Like it was like we didn't miss a moment. So as I'm sitting here and explaining and talking about her, this is the sexy, always sexy, Miss Imani Rose, aka Miss Safel.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Good evening.
So tonight, what I wanted to do is, my intentions has always been to bridge the gap between sexuality and spirituality. And I kind of shared my story before, but we supposed to have had 2 other young ladies on this stage and to have it all in this purpose. But there was one is sick, and the other one actually was, and I'm gonna share because she wrote something to me. So Mother Jackie is actually my aunt and my godmother. So I'm gonna tell you her story. Her story is that she had a stroke 10 years ago after her son had passed away from MS, multiple sclerosis. She passed away. And she had a stroke and she was unable to walk for 10 years. On July 28th, she had called me that morning and said that she had gotten a message from God. And God said, "Are you ready to walk?" Are y'all hear me? She was waking up early in the morning and he asked her, "Are you ready to walk?" And she said, "Yes, I'm ready to walk." He said, "But I need you to do these certain things." She said, "I need you to call several different people because I want them to witness and know this is what I said to you." Then he had told her about some scriptures that she needed to do. And he said, "I will have you walking by Saturday, July 30th. But I need you to do everything that I need you to be obedient." So she did. She called me on the 28th. Now on the 30th, let me go back. On the 30th, my mom's brother had passed away a week earlier. The 30th was his homecoming. July 30th was his homecoming. I was having a celebration of life for my 50th birthday, so I wasn't able to attend, but I still honored him in that way. I felt the moment when I was crying and I didn't know exactly what it was. And then I got a text from my auntie. So mind you, she hadn't walked in 10 years. She's had this little walker that she shake, so it was never a easy feel when she was walking. So when somebody tells you get ready to start walking, you think it's gonna be what? Like baby steps, like step by step by step. And if you guys look at an old video, she was just on my show in September that I actually played the tape of her walking. And when I said this woman walked, first she walked up and down this elevated driveway. Driveway. It was elevated. So she's walking in it, and you can see her shaking at that moment, at that time. And before you knew it, it was like the walker was walking away from her, was moving away from her, and she started walking on her own. And then before you know it, she started walking, and then she started speaking in tongue. And then she is a young man that was in front of her, and she was like, don't touch me. Don't touch me, let me do it. And she walked this walk. She walked up and down this incline driveway, walked up. The next thing I know, there's a video of her running, dancing, jumping up and down. 10 years. 10 years of her not walking. She didn't have any physical therapy like that. She didn't have that. So she was supposed to be my miracle today and speak and talk in this moment to let us know that there is a God, that there is someone out there that is giving these miracles as long as you be obedient. But when I've been going on this spiritual journey for the past 10 years. Honestly, I didn't know what it was. I'm telling you, I got baptized all over again. I did all kinds. I was in my closet. I had my prayer list. I had my forgiveness list. I had all of those things and not really understanding what it is. And then I said, well, I'm not supposed to be a pastor or a preacher. So I said, I'm going to speak. Because I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to speak my truth. And I'm going to allow anybody else to come and speak their truth. Because know that we all need to hear those truths so we can start living in our truth, whatever it is. So this platform today and where we on today is that when you walk away from here, that you will be full. And that you will not be ashamed of what you desire, of your desires, because we all desire something, right? Right? Hello?
Yeah.
We all desire something, right? And we want to make sure that you guys understand that that is what your trueness is. But I want to do this first. I want to read what she had to say to you, and then I want to start to open up, and I want to allow Marcus and I want to allow Imani, Safel to share their story, and then we're going to take some questions. Because one of the things that I want to do with the topic of self-love, we can't do anything without self-love. We can't love nobody. We can't fuck nobody. We can't do nothing successfully without self-love. Do y'all agree with me?
Yes.
Y'all agree with me on that?
Yeah.
All right, so give me a moment. I'm going to go ahead and read this, what she had put, because she wanted to make sure that she was saying this. But actually, let me go back. So the reason why she's not here is because 2 weeks ago, she was, doing, unless she'd be 70 years old in 2 weeks. And she was bleeding, and she was diagnosed with stage 1 cancer. And so she wanted to come, and I said no, because she wasn't feeling up to it, but she still wanted to come to be able to tell her story, because that's only one miracle that happened for her. But I believe this next one is another part of her miracle. I believe that why she's not here with us on the stage right now, because it was supposed to be the three of us. Because we are the representation of this industry. You understand what I'm saying? And this is a part of our journey in this. So they were not supposed to be here in this moment. But she did have something to share with all of you all, as well as myself here. And I ask that you truly receive it. Receive it in this manner, and know that it is coming truly from love. And I'm telling you, when y'all meet her, she is unbelievable. I'm not just saying that because she's my auntie godmama, but she is a very special person. She truly is. All right, so here we go. So this is the words of Mother Jackie. She says, I greet and celebrate you, beautiful women and handsome men, in the name of Jesus. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there with you awesome people. I really wanted to be there so that you can truly see there are miracles really happening in our day and time. I want to give y'all a little encouragement that the Lord laid on my heart. It's never too late to set out on a new journey with God in any area of your life. However, no journey is without challenges. The Bible uses phrases like guard your heart, Proverbs 4:23, be vigilant and cautious, 1 Peter 5:8, and be on the watch, Hebrews 12:15, for a reason. You don't need to fear, but you should be aware. There are saboteurs working to shipwreck your faith before you even leave the harbor. Do y'all understand that? Through the power of the Holy Spirit, you can overcome any opposition But in order to do so, you must first know what the opposition is. Our focus is always on Jesus, but our obstacles are still a part of the victory, or still a part of the equation, excuse me. For example, gaining a victory means defeating an enemy, and moving into something new usually means moving out of something old. When we make a choice to do the good things and actually start doing it, we overcome evil with good. However, evil will stay and try to oppress and tempt us. Nestled between two phrases that speak for hope or something new. Paul reminds us that letting go of the old is an important part of the process. The 2 Corinthians 5:17, therefore is a person in the Christ, he is new creation. The old things have passed away, and behold, the things become new. Old mindsets, unhealthy relationship, lies of the devil, past hurts, defeated attitudes, crippling habits, these are all obstacles in you discovering that it is never too late to begin again. The good news is that no longer do you have to allow these hindrances of the past to affect your present or your future. We cannot keep mixing the old and the new. Get an entirely new attitude and a way of thinking. Ephesians 4:23, issues like insecurity, inferiority, regrets, and discouragement are things you can confront and defeat as you move forward with God. With the help of the Holy Spirit, you can change these mindsets, but it will take some brave and bold choices. God is going to help you discover your worth and your destiny in Him. Remember, God's plan for your life is not dependent on your circumstances, your doubts, or even your feelings. His plan is such a bigger than those things. Our appearance is knit with defining us, and our insecurities that we hold on to don't define us. The Lord is just a sweet place to go. And she said love and prayer. And I hope that you all receive that, because this was definitely coming from her heart, and she was allowing God to use her. As that's all that I've been doing for the past few years, is allowing God to use me in a way. And that's why I can sit up here and be authentic in me, because I am a spiritual being and I love to have sex, as we all should. But I'm also a spiritual, and I love to be able to pray and meditate and have that, what I say, I'm high on my spiritual. Y'all need to get some of this. You understand what I'm saying? You need to get some of this. So, and saying that it was Mother Jackie said, and like I said, I hope you guys receive it, from there. And if you guys want to talk a little later afterwards, I can talk over there to kind of break it a little bit more down with you. But we're gonna get on more with this show.
I was gonna say, can you forward that to me?
I sure can.
You know what I mean? Like there's some moments in your
Yeah.
life that like,
Yeah.
reflect on it.
Yeah, I can. And it was one thing that she said about bold. And it was one thing is I am a very spiritual person, and I truly believe in a connection with ancestors. I truly believe that. I truly believe that my ancestors are right now that are in this space because I asked them to be here. I asked them to be here to protect not only me, but all of you all, that you are able to receive and feel what is going to happen on the stage. Now, I don't know exactly, because I'm going up on the top of the dome. I promise you I am. I'm going on the top of the dome, and I'm allowing me to be in this space. And if you guys see it, I got candles that's lit all around here. I got a white candle that's at that front door, and then I got a candle over there too. And that's to let you know that we are awake up in this bitch. But I just want you guys to just be in the moment right now, and don't be afraid. And if you guys have questions as we, tend to go on, then, please share that. Tap Mike on the shoulder or tap Chris on the shoulder and let them know that you have a question, and we'll definitely have a mic out there for you, to ask some questions. But we're going to kick it off. We're talking about self-love. And what I want to do is ask Mr. Marcus. Like I said before, we have history. He's the first one that I've ever had sex with on camera with. And I was so blessed to have him to be my first, because he actually kind of took me up under his wing. And I know a lot of people in this industry has not had that same experience that I had. So once we had our scene, he was like, okay, let me introduce you to some people. And then he walked me into some of these doors where I was able to meet some of the big wigs, you know, like Lexington Steele and, you know, and those that I was able to, you know, to be in that moment, you know, with that. And he's an icon. I've witnessed him not only in scene in front of a camera, but I've also witnessed him outside on how he's able to relate to so many people. How he's like an energy that people kind of draw to that. So one question that I do want to ask him, that's for you, for self-love. What is self-love for you? Being that you are an icon in the sex industry, you know, what is self-love for you?
I was gonna say lasagna, but I don't know if y'all can relate to that. You know, it's just like little things that you do for yourself. You know, but you're also aware of all the things that you want to do and must do or need to do for others.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't know. It's kind of like like I told you earlier. I think I kind of, before I leave the house, I feel like last looks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is how I feel. This is what I'm thinking. You know, now when I get out and I interact with other people, it's going to be what it is.
Right. Okay.
And I get a lot from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I get a lot of, you know, I'm always amazed. I'm always like, whoa, still, you know what I mean? Like, it's still like crazy talent. You know what I mean? It's still like a lot of love. It's still like memory. You be hearing stories and seeing people you ain't seen in a while. You know, I've been in this business almost 30 years.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Julian, my brother, he don't never remember this, but my first celebrity, I was like, it's him.
He was your influence.
I saw him, I was like, oh shit, that's Julian. And here we are, like almost 30 years later, still. And so, you know, it's just the ironies, just little things that you get for yourself.
Yeah.
There's little morsels, but you realize how much the bigger impact it is on other people.
Yeah.
So you just don't want to, you just try to like, you know, encourage that, not be in the way of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, you just got to find that joy. Joy is a word that a lot of cats, I don't know, for some reason, they just seem to don't think that shit exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of joy out there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to like dwell on the misery and the pain and the suffering. You know, you don't. You have choice. You know, you can use that. You know what I mean? It's all, it happened, you feeling it, dive into it, bring that joy with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. It's like more of the silver lining.
And people gonna give it to you. That's one thing I realized. If you open to it, people gonna give you that joy. Like I walked in here and I was thinking about shrimp tempura. I was thinking about fried shrimp. And you had shrimp tempura. Little things. I had about 10 of them.
Okay, so for you, Imani, I know we've had a long, intense conversation throughout the years that we've been knowing each other, and how you came in the industry. But I want to know, because I know your journey on it, but for you on self-love, you know, what does self-love means for you today?
Really just putting myself first.
Okay.
You know, being in the industry, I realized I was such a giver. I was very playful and naughty, and I gave a lot of my energy to a lot of people. So one of my first assignments was to honor myself. And I honestly didn't know what that meant. I was like, I heard it in church, but what does that mean? And it took me months of identifying how many ways I don't honor myself, how I put other people first, being a fantasy girl, being something that they wanted and desired over what I needed. And so today I look at it as just putting myself first.
Okay. I like that.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. I like that. All right, so we're gonna continue with self-love on this aspect. And so I want to go to, because I always wanted to, you know, do from a spiritual and then from a sexual, you know, type of thing, especially with healing. You know, and for me with self-love is making, acknowledging acknowledging certain things, acknowledging and embracing those imperfections that we have, visually as well. I know you said you do that last check, before you walk out the door. So even before I even put on any clothes, I kind of do like a self-evaluation, and I kind of tell myself, this, and this, and I do an affirmation, and actually, and even if any scars or things that I have on my body, I thank my body for those scars and for those experiences that I have, going forward, because they all have a story. You understand what I'm saying? They all have a story, and what I've learned now is that I've learned there was a lesson for those stories with those bruises that I have with me. So now I can say that my self-love is self-reflection of myself, is a self-embracing of myself that would allow me to know that even within me being spiritually in my mind, that also I can do that sexually and please myself sexually, that I don't even have to touch it. I don't even have to touch it. I can think it. You understand what I'm saying? But it really is a mindset thing. It truly is. And what I've learned out of all of these years is that it's more of an intimate relation with yourself. It's falling in love with yourself. I think a lot of people don't understand about falling in love with themselves. We always look for an acknowledgement from others, and I'm guilty of that. That is how I became successful in my career. Really being an entrepreneur, those are things that we go through because we want that validation. We want them to buy this, we want them to buy that. But we need not to get mixed up in that and understand that maybe we don't speak everybody's language. Maybe everybody is not going to buy what we sell. But we can't use that as a downfall for ourselves, if that makes any sense. You understand what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. You want to chime in?
No, go ahead.
Right, you grab the mic. So for my self-love, that is what that means for me. And I even tell my daughters, and I tell even my friends, is that we cannot be in a successful relationship with anybody unless we're in a successful relationship with ourselves.
I love you, buddy.
Right, that we're in with ourselves. And this is what I want to do. I want to challenge everybody that's here right now. And I see that beautiful new baby right there. And I know you're going to be successful. I'm not even going to say your name. But I know you are going to be successful in this industry because you're here right now. And I want you to know what your worth is. What you're doing, you're rocking because we've been here before. You understand what I'm saying? So don't ever let nobody shame for the choices that you made. But you make sure that you're in it for the right reason. It's something that you love to do, that you're feeling in here. Because once I got in, I learned so much about myself sexually. Like seriously, when I got in the industry, I was 30 years old with 2 kids and going through a divorce. So I was grown when I got in. But I didn't know myself as a woman on sexually pleasing myself as a woman. And I learned that in the adult industry. So now that you go in there with a purpose and know, okay, I'm gonna rock all of this and I'm gonna be all of that, but I'm gonna learn who I am. Yes, it was calling me to talk to you, baby girl. It was calling me to talk to you. But that's what I want you to get from this one. So when you walk out this door, you can walk out this door with your head high and forget anything what anybody else got to say about you and move and do it. And work it and go by your pace, nobody else's.
That's right. I was gonna say because not everybody has the same experience in this. You know what I mean? I've seen some tragic experiences, and then we've seen some very, joyful, solid. It's not the same for everybody. And I think you gotta, and sometimes maybe we get led astray. You know what I mean, from our purpose, what we're comfortable doing, what we really want to do, what we're meant to do. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of times if I put my energy, I like getting energy from people, but I also have to have that core energy in me pretty solid. You know what I mean? Like I tend to joke around a lot and have, you know, I try to lighten the mood a lot, because some people just come in with some heaviness, and you know, and I feel like maybe if we just kind of not water it down, but kind of like weather it out, pace it out a little bit, maybe now I can understand. Maybe it's not me that's meant to understand. Maybe it's meant for someone else. I learned that. Get out of the way. You know what I mean? Like not everything's meant for you. You know, step aside. But you know, I look at myself when I got into this. I was 23.
Okay.
You know, I was like a 23-year-old me. You know, it was a little.
Like you still look 23.
Right.
Little roughneck. You know that song, Roughneck?
You still look 23, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still 23 in my mind. I'm probably still that same dude. That's why it's ironic, because we're back at, you know, it's the 40th anniversary for ABN. It was, when I first came, it was at the Sahara, which they tore down now and they built something else, but it was recalled the Sahara now. And, you know, and it was like, and CES was like right there with it. And I remember just coming here, because I was coming here, my boys coming for CES, so I just hitched a ride because I knew that ABN was happening.
Right.
And so when we got our badges, I remember he was like, I'm gonna go check out the TVs. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go check out the TTs. So, you know, so to be here, you know, and so to come back around and, you know, it's like you walk into the resort. It's like, I remember having to go up the escalator into the second level of the industry, of the convention. And then, that's how I got in, and now it's the second level. So it's strange, way more people. And I think what I look at, and since we've been around for so long, you see all these other sexual pilgrims, right? They're all coming into the industry, you know, they're tatted from head to toe. They're tatted from head to toe. And she just is like, you know, just as cool as ever. You know what I mean? And you see young girls, older girls, young dudes, you know, fans, producers, it's just a mix of people. And they're all here for their own sexual experience. You know what I mean? And I've always been a fan of that. I've always been like an admirer of like people just discovering something new about themselves, or expressing themselves.
You know, like I said, that's for me, that was great, and that's why I want you to enjoy it. Because this young lady right here could kind of tell you her story is a little different from mine. And I'm not gonna lie, because she's a beautiful woman, so when she told me her story, I was like, girl, what? You know, but I had to understand that truly I was blessed with Mr. Marcus. But let me say this, because a lot of people don't know, I actually met Julian first. I met Julian first. I didn't even know who he was. I was doing a photo shoot, and my makeup artist at that time, she was calling him out. We were at Ron's space that he had. Ron Ellis' space. We was there, and I was there as a model taking pictures. And Julian came in. I didn't know who he was. And my makeup artist, she was going, you know what it is? You know what it is? I said, She said, that's Julian. I was like, who? Mind you, I've never watched porn before, so I didn't know. So I don't even know if you remember this, but we talked for a moment, and I remember Ron was like, you know, you think you're gonna be in this? And you come out and say,
Oh, you came for a photo shoot?
I was doing a photo shoot. Only.
At Ron's studio.
Yes, I was doing AJ. Remember AJ?
Thought you was gonna get out of there.
I did. I didn't do anything. I didn't really get into the industry and perform for not another 8 months later. Because then 2 months later, I met DeVoe. But he didn't get me in the industry either. He didn't get in there. I did my research, fast forward 6 months later. He was like, is that girl that came with her model portfolio and she busted it open?
Okay.
But yeah, it's just full circle that even seeing Julian here and then Marcus here. And they was actually my first. I had him and then he was my second one. And it's the same.
She got initiated right.
Yeah, I did.
The right way.
The right way, yeah. So I want you to share your story on how.
How I got in?
Yeah.
No. Look.
No. I I was minding my business in college, okay? And I needed some money. And I said, God, I need some money. And I think the devil heard me first. Because this guy that I was like partying with, he was like, I see you doing modeling and stuff. You should like come do like a film with me. And I was like, what kind of film? He was like, I'm trying to get into porn. I said, you trying to get into porn? Really? And he was just like a regular dude. You know, there's so many dudes that want to get into porn.
Right,
he was one of those guys that was like, I'm going to do this. And he was like, I need the perfect girl. And he was like, I see you already like take your clothes off and stuff, because I was modeling. I had modeled up to the point where I worked with Playboy. And so men just thought I was ready. And I was like, I just like being naked. I really wasn't trying to do nothing else. And my friend, he convinced me. We did a practice round in my dorm. And I was like,
A practice round?
yeah, like, I was like, so what am I supposed to do? Because I don't want to be out there looking stupid, you know? And so we practiced. And then he
Girl, I
brought...
still want to know what this practice is.
Oh, we got time for that. We'll say that for my YouTube. Then fast forward, he took me to Terry's house from West Coast. So I got introduced a real gangster way. That's all I'm saying. Huh? Because Terry, you know, he cool, but you know, he got another side to him. Lord have mercy, I didn't know what was finna happen. I'm all smiling like on the couch with him, like, how y'all doing? They pass around drinks. I was like, okay, look, we turned it up. Yeah, we turned up all right. I said, all my clothes is somewhere else. I don't know where my clothes are. I was like, it got really aggressive really fast, but I was a college girl that was always like ready to party. I wasn't really into drugs, but I loved hugging and kissing everybody. Like everybody at school know I hug and kiss everybody. So it kind of like, when I asked for God to help me with some money, it trailed into like a whole nother world. From that night, they was like, oh, you ready? we want to shoot you now. So I shoot What Can Brown Do For You? Yes, and I shoot it. Yeah, Lord have mercy.
What's it? I don't even know what is that?
Brown Do For You. It was one of them West Coast productions, you know what I mean? He was trying to do a knockoff of UPS. Anyways, my friend, it's me and my friend. And my friend, he couldn't get hard. The cameras come on, I said, what's happening? What are you doing? We practice. Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to fluff you? Like, what do I do? So we're on camera. And so Terry, impatient, he called somebody else. And I can't think of the guy's name, but he was, y'all probably know, he was earthy with locks. It wasn't the wild one. It wasn't
Byron?
It wasn't Byron. It was the more quiet one with the locks. See, he was so earthy. He was like
Dark skin?
Dark skin.
Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It got real. It went from my friend dick to a really big dick, and I was like, I didn't practice this one. I didn't practice this scene, and so that's how I got in. And from there, it kept having a domino effect. But I kept having really cool opportunities to meet certain people. Like I wasn't doing the lame stuff where girls be in the hotel, do these little $2 films. Like I was meeting people. And the first time I even had known that it was a network, I came to AVN, and that's when it was at the Palms. And when I went on the carpet, they thought I was Vanessa Blue. And they was like, are you Vanessa Blue? I was like, who is that? Really? I don't know. Because of how I looked, I guess the style of hair looked like her hair, you know. Let me just say this, look, certain white people just don't know what black people look like. Anyways, right, I know. When I met her, I said, girl, I don't even look like you. No. But I kept meeting like really big names first. So my career went from like chill to like 1,000 in 4 months. Good. And I was just like, whoa. Here I am. I was 23. I was in my prime.
That's us now.
Right, yeah, right.
All right, so this is what I want to do right now. I want to take a quick break. so we can get some water, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna go a little deeper, just a little bit deeper, and then I'm gonna want to take some questions. If anybody have any questions or comments that's out there in our audience right now. So this is your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks here on Ask Nyomi Bridging The Gap podcast.
Hey, my sexy people, it's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks. And I finally did it. I've written my first book. Well, actually, it's a living journal. It's called Good Morning, My Sexy People, where I share my stories in different posts, but help a healing workbook for you. So it's 90 days to kick off your healing living journey. Pre-purchase now. Go to asknyomi.com and hit shop. Listen.
Hey, it's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks, and welcome back to Ask Nyomi Bridging The Gap podcast, where we are live here in Las Vegas at the Ask Nyomi. This is a kickoff, right? This is a kickoff on healing through spirituality and sexuality. And I'm here. I have to call him my brother, my friend, Mr. Marcus. What's going on, baby?
What up? Because every time we talk, we be talking.
We be talking.
Yeah, we be getting into it. Like, all right, we gotta go. I gotta go. You gotta go? Yeah, you gotta go.
And then still talk. And then still talk. And then my soul sister, that's what I call my soul sister. We connected like never before. I mean, we've done some things together, but just even beyond that we have connected. I've watched her grow, not only in the industry, but even personally. And she don't even know that you influenced me in a lot of ways, especially with your spiritual growth and what you do with it. I didn't say this before in the first half, is that her spiritual journey kind of started off the same time mine did. Yeah, same year. Yeah, but she really dove into it. I ran. I was running, but she kind of dove in it, and the things that she do. When I say the things that she do are incredible. They are amazing, because even with that, is she used this 10 years of her life, not only growing in it spiritually, but also really going through it in healing, but not healing through just this, but healing through an artistic way. And that's something that I had wanted her to, kind of share with everybody here. She's very creative. And when I say she did this, the very first time that after, I guess we kind of retired, and she was doing some artistry. And she had invited myself and one of my girlfriends to one of her first artist exhibition. And guess what it was, y'all? It was on vaginas.
So I did a bunch of moldings of vaginas, yeah. And it was a part of like where I was again trying to honor myself. And so I had all these like vaginas on my display. And I made them out of clay, but I put crystals in it, like what Naomi has on her necklace. And they would say things like, respect my yoni, kiss it with care, like be more gentle with her. And it was because I was reflecting on how aggressive the industry had treated my vagina. And so it was interesting because people didn't know I was in the industry. Right. This was completely different. This was me as my regular self. And people were walking by and the dudes was like, I think that's a vagina. Like, yes, get close. And me being still kind of Imani was like, yeah, go closer to it, touch it. Touch the vagina. I was like, stop it, don't trying to change your life around. So even though I dove into my spirituality, I would glitch. Like the Imani side would still come out of me. But I was trying to tell stories without like going into details. Right. Some women, they understood it because I would also call it like a yoni. And a lot of men don't know what that means, but women that are on their conscious journey, they know that a yoni is when you're being more conscious and mindful of your vagina.
Yeah. So let me say this, because it was hard for me to, especially when I retired, is trying to break away from the Nyomi Banks, as I always say, the Nyomi Banks persona. But what I did realize is that I am Nyomi Banks. I'm a Nyomi Banks. I'm Amanda. This is all of me and you. And so even with you, you are Imani.
There's a fragment.
Yeah, but it's there.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That is who create your whole being.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Kind of. I've always wanted to debate you on that.
I know you do. but no.
But I want to say it just like this. So when we're on our spiritual journey, if someone a lady like myself, if you decide like I'm walking away from the industry, I want to get to know the true Vanessa, your normal self again, you have to detach from the persona you created. You have to identify how you created her, how the money came in, who was, because it's really like an avatar. That's what they would call it now. Like I made an avatar of my sexuality. And so as I was deconstructing myself, I pulled myself in pieces. I would bring myself back together. And Imani, she literally had layers of trying to protect Vanessa. She was like my ego, alter ego, and I let her have her own story. Which now in my artistry, that's what I like to help people do, is create their own like sexual journey, creating that persona and going through their journey on their own. But remembering like it's a part of you, but it's not you. You can take it off and just be one with your true self, how you were born. But I know what you're saying. I was born. I was born. The little girl to be running around with no clothes on. You hear me? That was me. I mean, little girl just, mommy. And I would take pictures of myself as a little girl naked. Like I was a little girl in the tub. Shan, that's my sister. Take a picture of me. And I just was naturally very, very sexual at a very young age. It was already in there. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but also in that, and I heard what you said with Imani, is like you kind of built her more of being protective in that mode of that. But what I asked you to do is kind of look at her and not being so negative in it, but looking at the positive mode of you. Is that honestly you had to, that path that you went through, that was a part of your path. That was a part of your story. Because the thing is, even though we're sitting on the stage right now, it's going to help you live in your purpose even more, and it's going to help you to relate to a whole lot of different women that has those little Imanis in them. You understand what I'm saying? That the thing, because we know something, we're about to go somewhere else with it, but you understand what I'm saying? So I understand what your detachment means, especially when you first getting out of the industry, because you look at it as such a bad, kind of, because I was at the same mode. But then that made me realize is that truly, what is this all about? Why am I going through this, moment? And the thing is, we cannot be afraid of our sexuality. The thing is that we have to learn about what that is. And what that is with in connection with us as a being in the spirituality, that we need to start teaching ourselves and others on what that is. And that's the thing, is that we aren't educated with it. We don't know how to do or be who we are with it. You as a little child, we butt naked. That's of a natural, thing for what we are. You know what I'm saying? And people will make it, perverted. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. I used to run around naked all the time. I still like to run around naked. I didn't put no clothes on for about 2 hours.
I do too.
So, I encourage, whatever.
Right.
Half the time I don't know what I want to wear anyway.
Right. Really? All right, so thank you for sharing that. So let me ask you this, Marcus. So now that you've been retired from out of the industry, and
Go keep talking. I'm trying to find somebody sent to me. They sent me something.
Right. What? Marcus has always been so random, ain't he? He's always been so random, hasn't he, Julia? He's so free spirit. He is so free spirit. But what I wanted to ask
no
you,
love.
right, is just, as your everyday living right now,
Right.
if it's one thing that you can change about being in the industry, what would that be?
I don't know. I think I'm split between like being like creative. I write shit every day. Take pictures of everybody, everything. I got pictures that go back almost 30 years.
Yeah.
I keep it like a photo journal of everything, of every conversation. That is part of who I am.
Right.
And then I'm like intrigued by business. I'm intrigued by how we're used and how we exploited. You know, not just in our industry, but in the world, and foremost in this industry, because it's even all the racial. It's crazy for me because I see, you know, all of these things that people, you know, add to, like we're real simple. We're born simple, but then we add to it all these prejudices and ideals and opinions and strong opinions and Republican and Democrat and conservative and, you know, liberal. It's like, whoa, you know, and it's crazy because I always think that if something was to happen to you, that person who shows up in the ambulance, you know, that paramedic, you ain't gonna be like, are you Muslim? You're not gonna be, did you vote Republican? You're not. You're just gonna be like, save my life. You know what I mean? You just be like, just help me out.
Right.
And so when I see things, when I travel, when I go places, it just seems to be like, yo, you need some help. You know what I mean? Or I deal with a lot of, like, you know, I got kids, my nieces, whatever, but kids love me. I don't know what it is, but kids love me. I love kids. But then what I've been noticing, you know, I hit 50, you know, I'm 52 now, I'll be 53 this year, but when I hit 50, I was hanging out with a bunch of 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds. You know what I mean? I'm hanging out with these old dudes, these old cats, and their whole views on life is just, you know, health and appreciation and family. You know what I mean? There's the prejudices are fading away. A lot of their old world views are, you know, they can't grasp that no more. I come across some, you know, old crusty white dude, and I think, man, you must have been Ku Klux Klan back in, you know, your 20s, but now you need my help. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? To get through the day, maybe you got something, you know. I don't know what I sense these things in people, and I like the part that, you know, you can give me shit all you want, but I've been through some shit. Right. You know what I mean? I've been a porn star for a black porn star. When there was only a handful of us. Right. It was less than 5. Right. You know what I mean? I met F.M. Bradley. You know, if you know what that is, that's an OG, but he was a dark brother that, you know, was like the early 80s, mid 80s, was like doing his thing. And so for me to still be here and still be around and still be in the conversation, because I like that conversation, is what I try to take out. Okay. So I wish I would have, but I don't think I could change anything. There's nothing I could change. Yeah. Maybe when I was younger, I'd probably be like the black Hugh Hefner. I would have got. I mean, I think I probably could have went that route, but there was always obstacles, challenges, and I just wasn't informed enough, wasn't educated enough, and didn't have enough knowledge. You know, and so now I don't have no expectations. Okay. You know, I just try to appreciate you, you know, and all of the people in the room, because you guys all have a different story. I guarantee it. You guys are all hearing something different right now. You're all thinking and relating to something going on in your own personal life. You know what I mean? You're checking back. You know, you probably got something you want to say. You know, and I think you can open it up. And so we're here for that. And I think in what I love, and it was right before the pandemic. We were doing these podcasts, and I remember we was out in New York. I was out there with, you know, Ralph and all that. And we had a room like this many people, and we were doing this podcast. It was supposed to be just me and one other person. I can't remember his name. And it might have been Rome. Maybe it was Rome. And I thought it was gonna just be me and him, but everybody else has some shit to say. So they started passing the mic around. Everybody had their own stories and shared, you know what I mean? And I was like, cool, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen and learn. I'm glad we got this far so that we can just sit around and talk and not feel, you know, apprehensive about our feelings and what we want to say. Like, you can say it, shit, you need to hear it. Yeah.
You know? You just don't know who shared, because sometimes people hold things in because they think they're the only one. Yeah. And they don't think anybody else is going through that at that time or whatever it is. And so they're like, okay, let me hold that back. But then when they hear, and especially like I said, when we were in the back, when I said especially for you, because you are looked at as that icon man that has slept with so many different women, and it's like, oh, so So it is okay to feel that way, or is it okay for me? Oh, okay, because I see a manly man. You know, y'all look at men sleeping with a whole bunch of women that's manly, don't y'all? Yeah, do. Yeah, you do. You know, so in that aspect, for you to be able to do, and even sit here and speak of that, and wanting to even know other people's stories, is something good. Because when they look at you, or being, it's like, oh, you are a narcissist, or you're about yourself, because they really don't understand who you are. Because they only see us as face value. So they don't get a chance to really see us within us. And so us sitting on this stage right now and you sharing your deep thoughts with everybody, it kind of opens them up and like, okay, yeah, I can speak that. Okay, I hear that. I hear what he's speaking. I hear what he's saying. And it can stop a whole lot of things that go on in here.
Yeah, because you meeting young brothers all day long that need guidance. You know, they don't necessarily know I'm even a porn. They don't know shit about me. I just feel like, yo, you need to
Well, nobody knows. But you never stop that. You don't have your hat on.
No, it's all right. You know what I mean? But you just try to, you know, when I'm around some cat, I feel like they need some guidance. Yeah. And I don't even know if I'm the one. Right. I just feel like, you shouldn't turn right. You should, you know, go left. You know, or I went down that road. It's a dead end. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Or I wouldn't, you know, I should text her. No, I don't text her back. Right. That's gonna make it worse. You know what I mean? Like, right. You know, deflect, just redirect, you know, reposition, right. Take a moment, you know what I mean? Yeah. Learn all that. You know, when I was younger, I didn't know shit. I was just, my dick was out and I was trying to come, you know, young, dumb, and full of cum.
I love that saying. But you know, when they're speaking in this, I want to take a real quick break, because what we're going to do is, like you said, I want to know if we have any questions out there, any questions for anybody that you want to ask. We're going to take a quick break, because we're going to get everybody mic'd up. We're going to get a mic out there so we can kind of pass it around. And you guys can, you know, ask some questions. Y'all ready for these questions?
Oh, yeah.
Y'all ready for these? I'm ready for them. All right.
Be very thorough. Don't hold back, okay? Just raw. Because we done all had the raw, so just raw. How about that? That's the best way.
Oh, baby, I like it raw.
All right, it's your girl, the Goddess Nyomi Banks here on Ask Nyomi Bridging The Gap podcast. Like I said before, we are live here on AVN Weekend here at Healing Through Spirituality and Sexuality. We will be back. All right, my sexy people. So I hope you enjoyed the first part of this Ask Nyomi special episode that we had from Ask Nyomi tour, Healing Through Sexuality and Spirituality. And there you were listening to Mr. Marcus and Safel, as well as myself, on the stage for the AVN Weekend here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Part 2 we will be releasing next week, but I hope you do enjoy. If you have any questions or any concern, or even want the Ask Nyomi healing tour to come to your city, please email us at info@asknyomi.com. Again, as I always say, always keep it sexy, be good to yourself and one another. Peace. Ask Nyomi Bridging The Gap. This is where we talk about love, sex, relationships, cultural differences, and so much more.